Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Fantasy Goats. I am your host, your shepherd. I'm joined by some of the best in the business. I got the commissioner Rhino. How are you today, Rhino?
Doing good, doing good.
And I got the lead analyst, lead fantasy football extraordinaire, uh, JX. I got to come up with another name for JX. I need another nickname. If you know me, you know I love my nicknames. I got nicknames for our players. I'm gonna have nicknames for our talent, including the Shepherd here right here. Guys, we are going to get into the best offensive players to team fits, also known as the landing spots for all our upcoming 2025 rookie drafts. We want to try to examine, where these guys are going to land and whether that would be impactful. Okay, to where to your rosters and to their NFL teams and
Yeah,
how we're going to be drafting them in Dynasty. And then truth be told, in a blink of an eye, once we're done with the draft, that's in a week. By the way, we are heading to Green Bay next week. A week from this Thursday, we will be live with you for round one, beginning at 7 o'clock. The following day on Friday for round 2 and 3, we will react to all the picks that come in. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna make the predictions along with everybody else, but more fun than that is reacting to them. What are the Cowboys
yes,
doing?
sir.
What are the
Yes,
Jet
sir.
what are the Jets going to do? And any trades that come up, of course. Guys, if you don't want to miss this, please give us a like. Please subscribe to our channel. We are growing. We are very pleased with all of that. Plenty of content coming to you for the remainder of this off season, straight into the 2025 season. So yeah,
Let's go.
we're looking very forward to that as well. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to give you Rhino and JX the top players at each position. So obviously the offensive positions: quarterback, wide receiver, running back, and the tight end. The top players at the position. Give me the best spot possible that would be optimal, the best situation
Got you.
for you to draft, for the GOATs to draft this player in their rookie drafts. Look, and if you want to give a bonus, a worst case scenario, feel free to give a worst case scenario. All right, so why don't we start? I mean, like, this is easy. The draft, we all know, starts with Cleveland. We don't really need to address Cam Ward, right? That is the best situation, whether we like it, love it, hate it. There's nothing else we can do about it. That's about 98% locked in, I would say. So that's that. Cam Ward, Rhino, I mean, this is your draft. Let's pretend that you are in the startup, which I'm sure you have a startup that's coming up. We all do. We all do. We all got started. Everyone's got a start. There's always one. Each year is a new opportunity to build a new dynasty team. Therefore, hence you
hmm
have a startup. Where would Cam Ward fall for you?
Probably, probably when the first five picks of the first round.
I would say that's fair. That's fair. JX,
Yeah.
nothing to really push back on that, right, JX? I mean, like,
Well, you said we're talking about startup, right? Startup dynasty. Ooh, Cam Ward for me. If we're doing startup and everyone's included,
No,
Cam
that's
Ward.
true.
Yeah, we might be looking at round two or round three for Cam Ward. Only because the rushing upside isn't, astronomical with Cam Ward. I would definitely let him pick maybe a more polished passer like Joe Burrow, maybe in the first two rounds before Cam Ward, but definitely the upside in the third is a good landing spot for me for Cam Ward.
Yeah, that's because it's a startup. So
all right.
Exactly.
definitely
So,
third or fourth round.
all right. So, you know what? Good distinction. Good distinction. And we should probably separate the two at this point. because if we're gonna get into like the startup conversation mixed in with the rookies, then we probably got a whole new show. You know why I get close to the microphone every time I see this man? Because I needed to echo even further onto his end, the goat of the goats, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm glad that you brought that up, JX, and that's an excellent distinction. So why don't we just keep it to rookie
draft, okay, yeah,
rookie draft. You already have your team. Forget whether you won last year, whether this is your third year playing. This is your rookie draft.
Yeah, then I'm right there with Rhino. Then yeah, absolutely, he's a top 5 pick. We're talking about super flex. He's a potential top 3 pick depending on the situation. So yeah, for sure, Cam Ward is up there.
All right, excellent. I'm glad that you brought that up, because when I said startup, again, you could have the two separate, and you could also have them integrated as well. I've had
correct,
both.
yeah.
I've done both. So yes, fantastic point. Let's move on to QB2 in this class, according to what I have on my monitor. That's going to be Shedeur.
The best landing spot for me was
Best
Shedeur.
spot. Best possible spot.
Would be the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, I would have to agree. The Pittsburgh Steelers would be the best landing spot for him, because that has the best potential weapons in which he could be potentially drafted. Now, as far as the draft capital for Shedeur, that's where it gets tricky, because it just kind of depends on can you wait or not on your quarterback. Me personally, I'm pretty quarterback heavy with my team right now. If I really thought about drafting Shedeur Sanders, I may be looking at late second, maybe early third.
That's what my mind was going to.
Because we also got taking he's probably going to be sitting. He's not going to be a straight start, so we're going to have to wait for him to play.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be a straight start too, because he'll need to learn the Arthur Smith system, which I think the system will fit him better instead of being a system like let's say like the Cowboys. I don't think that system would fit him right away, because
nothing fits.
He would drown. He would drown. He would fall behind.
Nothing fits right away over there.
No.
Okay, so I think it's fair to say, fine, that if you're a team that is strong at the QB, you would definitely pass on Shedeur. But if you're a team that perhaps is kind of weak, needs a quarterback, I think you're going to probably wind up drafting Shedeur Sanders in that first round. And look, you're just going to have to wait it out, see if he could perhaps start right away. If not, the worst case scenario is you have that capital, you have that player on roster for the time that when his number's called.
And if your team is heavy, like veteran heavy, like one of my teams have Stafford, you're going to draft. If your team is heavy veteran wise, where they're up in age, maybe there might be their last year, you're going to draft him sooner than that too.
Yeah, for sure. To lock in your future, I would consider drafting Shedeur at the end if I was in this situation. But even also, if I was lacking quarterbacks, I would probably think about trading for one of those veteran guys. Because I just think, even no matter where Shedeur goes, whether it be Cleveland or the Giants or even the Saints or the Steelers, there is a veteran presence there. I cannot put all my eggs in the basket, him starting week 1 and making my team competitive week 1.
Yeah,
I think at the earliest we're seeing maybe week 5, week 6. Some growing pains, and then he may be able to really contribute to my fantasy team maybe week 9 on.
And one of the reasons I say the Steelers is because they're a run heavy team.
Yeah.
So he won't have to do as much as say if he got drafted by the Saints, who they'll throw him in the fire pit and let him go.
Also, the best thing about the Steelers is too, They have the deep weapons. So his
Mhm.
18 attempts could look like 200 yards.
Yep.
We throw the ball a whole lot, but if he throws 1 or 2 deep balls, 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns, that could be a great QB2 for you.
And
Super flex.
he can throw that deep ball nice. He's got a sweet deep ball throw, man. Really sweet. Really sweet.
This is where I question one of the, if not the most polarizing, like, I guess, theme of the draft as of right now today. Like, where is Shador going? Is he sliding? Is it smoke screens by teams? He's visiting this team on Thursday. Like, it's all eyes are on what happens with Shador. We're not here to debate the talent. Some the nitpicking at some of, like, the ineffectiveness, or some of the weaknesses of his game.
There.
The fact of the matter, we know two things for certain.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be drafted one way or another, and the landing spot is going to be very, in my mind, paramount to that. How accelerated, to everyone's point here, could he potentially get under center? And then, of course, what does that look like? What team is that exactly? What is that?
Yeah.
Who is that? Is that him down in the Mercedes-Benz Dome throwing to Rashid Shaheed and Chris Olave, or is that throwing to DK Metcalf and a disgruntled George Pickens and an Arthur Smith over there? Like, what does this look like?
And it's I find it interesting that he's doing a private workout for the Giants too, right before the draft. They're either not sure or they want to make sure.
It's due diligence.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it's due diligence. Look, I'm going to maintain and die on the hill, Rhino. The recording is saved. The Giants quarterback is not in this draft.
No.
It ain't.
No. You got me convinced the last time. It made sense.
JX, give us Jackson Dart. This would be the third QB. Consensus-wise, Dynasty rookie drafts, this would most likely be the third quarterback taken in the draft. Now, I'm not saying this is the third quarterback taken in the NFL draft, and that might change a lot of perceptions to the savvy dynasty managers, but for purposes of today, Jackson Dart.
Yeah, I'm a little bit lower on Jackson Dart. There's another guy we may get to that is a lot more appealing to me. Jackson Dart, his best case is probably somewhere like the Rams, fit wise. He fits that team just kind of how Purdy would fit with like we did with San Francisco. Gets him in rhythm, puts him in the place where he can use his strengths to be the best Jackson Dart. Like I said, I think he is a for sure season sit. In dynasty drafts, I'm taking him in the third round. I couldn't take him any earlier than that.
I like the Rams pick. I do, especially because he's a little bit more mobile than people think. But if you watch film on him, he can keep going and he can get yards too. And big play like a mobile quarterback. But I think New Orleans would be a good fit for him. The Kellen Moore system.
This is somebody that would be taken. I would put a dynasty round one grade on him if he lands in New Orleans, and I'm not even worried about Carr. I don't even think I don't think this news of an injury is all that serious. We could talk about that another time. I really don't. But yeah, no, I would.
I would take a middle second round, but one of his attributes is throwing the ball deep, and Kellen Moore likes to throw the ball deep. He likes to push the ball downfield.
He's got great accuracy deep.
Yep.
From my understanding, from what I've read on him, He's athletic. We
He's
want
very
that.
athletic.
We want that. He's got the ability to move around. He's got the ability to read defenses. There's a little bit of questioning regarding how he could read through progressions, but I think if you you got to get him in the right system. Whether that's Kellen Moore or not. Kellen Moore did a hell of a job with a quarterback this past season, going through progressions or eliminating stuff that, you know what, not really necessary.
Yeah. Yeah,
Let,
he'll simplify it for him.
let's maximize what you're really good at, and if it's these 2 or 3 reads, then that's the end of it. Don't even bother with the other side of the field.
I think the worst spot is the Browns.
But
That'd be the worst spot.
but a lot of that, again, it was Jackson Dart not going to the other side. We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah.
All right. Next quarterback is interesting. And again, I think, as we're getting into the Tyler Shucks and the Jalen Milrose, these guys are going to go again. I don't think anyone expects these two to start, but give us the best possible spot. Best possible spot.
For Tyler Shaw,
Yeah.
the Rams. I think he's a good fit for the Rams. He throws a good deep ball. He's a little bit mobile, and he could sit a year and learn the McVay system. And he might be more pro ready than Dart.
Okay.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that. I'm
Well,
going to
he's-
go.
he's-
Go ahead.
I mean, like he better be pro ready, being in college as long as he's been in college. So I mean, I hope he's pro ready.
Yeah, he backed up Justin Herbert at one point in time. Yeah,
No, I mean, it doesn't get any more. It doesn't get any more ready, Rhino. I mean, but yeah, look again. You put him.
I think he's better at reading defenses and stuff like that. He's further ahead than Jackson Dart.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Do we have you want to give him a grade for Dynasty round?
Probably third round.
Mhm.
All right, here's another polarizing individual, Jalen Milroe, JX, Jalen Milroe. Now this dude, you kind of like, okay, like this is like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde on this dude.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I
It really is. I mean, like he looks and he runs like he's like one of the best running backs in that's come
exactly.
that's
somebody said that he's Jahmyr Gibbs as a quarterback.
He looks like he's one of the best running backs in this class, but he's not a running back. We know that. Now, when it comes to the passing, the quarterbacking, there's some question marks there. But this dude's a freak. He's a freak. I like the pedigree.
Mm-hmm.
You just mentioned. I mean, like, look, let's call it what it is. It's Alabama.
Yeah,
Cream of the crop.
And I mean, quarterback's been a little shaky, but still, you're coming from a program that is setting you up and giving you all the requisite tools to be a professional football player.
Absolutely.
Jalen Milroe, talk about polarizing again. I mean, this guy could bring down Green Bay depending on where he gets drafted, and I think that's going to also dictate and determine where he goes in your rookie startup. So I keep saying startup, your rookie draft.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big Jalen Milroe fan, particularly for fantasy. I'm actually a good big fan of him in real life too. But I mean, he's going to have the draft capital. I mean, he can be picked from anywhere from 21 to 40. Like you said, he is a running back there, and that's how he will be utilized for the first part of his career. I could see him taking 150 carries the time that he does eventually start. I'm not saying he'll start day one,
right.
But he's going to be run the ball first and then throw the ball second. But what are his two biggest strengths? Not only running the ball, but throwing the deep ball.
Yep.
I've seen him make a name for Ryan Williams down in Alabama, and I think it would be great for him to make George Pickens a deep threat and also DK Metcalf a deep threat very happy. his upside for fantasy football is Jalen Hurts-esque, and Jalen Hurts has ran fantasy football for the past 4 to 5 years. Um, I love Jalen. I love Jalen Milrow, and like I said, me personally, I'm gonna be picking him in the second round as soon as I possibly could. Maybe like right after the 112 or 114, however your leagues are formatted. I'm taking him 201 as soon as possible.
Interesting. I'd probably take him late 2, early 3rd, depending on where he landed at. Because if he's landing on a team that's going to sit a year, then I'm going to take somebody that is going to play more than him. But I like Steelers.
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind taking him in the second round if I knew that my quarterback room was pretty good.
Okay, yeah, there's that.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm going to get like a better running back out of, like, let's say, and we'll get to him, of course, like an RJ Harvey, or if I'm going to get better rookie or even like career production out of somebody like Jalen Noel than I would like the potential of a Jalen Milrow. It could be
It's too high.
Could damn well be like immediate, and then again like so like. Not that I would really recommend shopping around and trading off quarterbacks because of how valuable the commodity is. But like if you've got like a bunch of them and all of a sudden you just hit on this rookie pick to package one of your other ones off for future capital. I mean, you're setting yourself up pretty nicely. You really are. So
yeah, I do think I think if the Browns trade back into the first and draft Milrow,
yeah,
that's a good spot because he'll be starting within the first half the season because he is better than Flacco. He is better than Pickett.
If he was drafted in the back of the first round, how highly do you think you would be considering him then? Because like you said, if he made it to the Browns, I would consider a late first.
Yeah, I'd be right there with you. Yep.
The upside is too high. It's too high. Him being a late first round pick could potentially be QB1 for years to come.
Jalen Milrow would be the absolute recipe for the Rhino Browns turnaround. That's what we're looking at. That's what we need to turn Rhino into a fan of the Browns again. But yeah. I don't know if Joe. I don't really think Joe Flacco is. I mean, like. I mean, it really does depend. It depends on what the Browns do wind up doing. But if like they really if they go and wait and take Quinn Ewers, who's next, or Kyle McCord, then I think there's a good possibility that those dudes are just gonna wind up waiting there.
Yeah.
Hi, Sniper. How are you? Sniper's getting ready for the Packers.
Oh, sorry, she's gonna be at the draft.
She's getting ready for the draft. All right, let's Quinn Ewers. Best spot for Quinn Ewers to perhaps sit and learn.
The perfect sit and learn quarterback.
Perfect spot.
Yeah. Perfect spot for me. I've been leaning towards Quinn Ewers to the Raiders. I like him on the Raiders sitting behind Geno for a little while. They're gonna be building that team up. Yeah, they're gonna be building that team up through the draft. I think for the next 2 years. Great picks that they have, and I think he'll be a great option to sit for a couple of years behind Geno. I'm probably gonna take him. Late third, early fourth. Depends how the board falls. That's when I'll start thinking about it. Late third.
He might be one of those guys that doesn't get drafted too, and that you pick up, you put on your taxi squad.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be probably where I would go.
Well, I mean, depending on your roster, you may start on your taxi squad anyway, depending on whether he's going to play or not. You know,
like
I mean, again, I don't see Quinn Ewers as even close. I think it would take something unfortunate to a starter to have to thrust Quinn Ewers into a starting role.
I like Ewers. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks. Almost to a fault, man. Almost to a fault, but
he's. I mean, like, for some reason, he was on a different trajectory, wasn't he? And then, like, just other quarterbacks just got better.
Well, he's super.
He also had an oblique injury last year, so that says a lot. And let me add one more team too. And Jess could speak on this too because he's a Rams fan. Les Snead and McVay like drafting people from Texas because Les Snead's stepson was a long snapper for them. So it wouldn't surprise me if they drafted him like in the 5th round and had him sit for 2 years behind Stafford.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me either.
Are there any other teams that we could think of? Almost missed you guys. Caught up watching my Phillies. What's up, James Goat? Don't miss us, James Goat. Tap those notifications, James Goat. You don't ever have to miss us. But I don't want you to miss your Phillies either.
I think the Raiders are the perfect one for me.
Yeah.
I can't think of another one. Not immediate, but the Raiders for sure.
And the only one other quarterback that I think would be a good fit for the Raiders is Will Howard because he would fit right into the system that he just came out of.
Brian Kelly, yeah. You will see how secretive they are this draft.
It'll be interesting because they'll be telling how they are.
Remember. I mean, like if we don't really think of this quarterback class as high as last year's quarterback class, right? But we do know that at least the ones that we just listed off are going to get selected at some point between rounds 1 and late. So let's not put it past teams like, I don't know, do the Chargers really that solid with a QB2? How about the Lions? I'm sure that I would not be surprised if you've got a team, the team that we're not even thinking about, right? To just wind up drafting one of these dudes, McCord, Shuck, Quinn Ewers. I mean, we could go on and on. Like, yes, we know the teams that are quarterback needy. We know who they are. We know it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. We know it's the Giants. Even the Giants. The Giants is probably still going to draft a quarterback.
Well, yeah, of course, yeah.
You know, it's just not going to. It ain't going to be with their 3rd overall pick.
No, no,
not hell no.
No, and I think with quarterback class, I think a lot of these quarterbacks do need to sit a year or two. Yeah. And then it might surprise us. 3 years from now, we might be talking about how great of a quarterback draft this was.
Possible, for sure.
It's very possible.
Without question. Without question. You know, it's funny you said that. General Manager, Executive Vice President John Schneider. I don't know why this dude is considered to be one of like the greatest minds, greatest executives. Yeah, he won a Super Bowl. Congratulations. You appeared in 2 Super Bowls. Congratulations. And this man still has a job and seems to be very secure. Is a conversation for another time. But he actually said something to that point.
Yeah,
like the narrative around a quarterback class not being good, we shouldn't take that approach. He said something. I'm paraphrasing. That's not the exact quote, but he said something to that effect, as in let's not act as if this class couldn't be star-studded Pro Bowl caliber quarterbacks in a few years to come.
Yeah, we didn't, and there's Seattle's going to be looking for a quarterback to draft because they have Darnold for a year or two, and he might not make it through the first year if they don't draft offensive linemen, but that's neither here or there right now. But yeah, Seattle would be actually a good spot for Milroe too, or Jackson Dart.
Yeah,
Clint Kubiak system. Yeah,
you know, I was thinking a little bit harder here when you're saying that. You know, you're like kind of forcing us to think outside the box here. You know,
Imagine
a great
that.
spot.
Imagine that.
Not
A
us.
great spot for sure. I think would actually be the Miami Dolphins.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah.
He has the mobility to play in that particular offense, and also has the arm strength to to maximize the speed that they have there as well. I know everyone in Miami just wants to go to bat for Tua, but we're
I'll,
not going to act like sometimes we need little
I'm going
balls
back for
less.
Zach Wilson, man.
I'll go to bat for Tua. I'll go to bat for Tua. But after Tua, they don't have a quarterback. That's correct.
Yeah, they do not. They do not.
So yeah. So I mean, it could very well be any one of those types of situations.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Just imagine, and knock on wood, not wishing this on any player because it's not good for the game. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say that. The game goes on, but you don't like to see players go down because they're hurt.
No.
Jared Goff breaks his wrist going down, or Kyler Murray again, non-contact injury. Daniel Jones, non-contact injury. Now we have to see Anthony Richardson again. So again, I bet you a handful of these guys, they're going to get drafted. Now it's just a matter of they all can't go to the Raiders. They all can't go to the Browns. Browns will maybe get one. Saints are going to get one.
Jaguars would get one.
So on and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Lawrence fits Liam Cohen's system, but yeah, Jaguars might get one too. There's going to be a team that's going to surprise the shit out of us.
Exactly.
Worst comes to worst case scenario, Jordan Love again, sprained MCL. He's going to miss a couple of games. Aaron Rodgers comes off the couch, goes home to Lambeau. I mean, it's stuff like that.
They have a not wanted sign for him hanging up at Lambeau.
What they do have though. What they do have is kind of a competent now veteran. I would say he's a veteran in Malik Willis.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't even preclude that. I wouldn't preclude the Packers from just like rostering one of these dudes for like $800,000.
Of course. I mean, backup quarterback is becoming, one of the more important positions in the NFL. Like I said, any of these guys could go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
We could see one of these guys upside go to San Francisco. Is everything for sure in San Francisco?
Well, Mac Jones is there, so that probably won't happen.
Well, even still, Brock Purdy was a third quarterback, and now he's the starter and could potentially make $60 million. So we could be in the same situation where they draft Ewers, and then Purdy gets hurt, and then Matt gets hurt, and then here's Ewers, and we're having the Brock Purdy situation all over again. So I mean, you just never know.
No.
But so for our purposes, these guys, they're just going to wind up falling to a certain degree in the rookie drafts. Okay, so I'll pick them up in the 4th round. I'll pick them up in the 5th round if I have 5 rounds of a rookie draft. And Quinn Ewers, who's buried behind, the Dolphins' depth chart of Zach Wilson and Tua. I would be okay with that. Let's get on. Let's move on to the prize of the 2025 rookie drafts. That's Ashton Genty. Rodgers to the Vikings. Yeah, Rodgers is going to the Vikings. We've been saying it on this show, dear. We have been. We have been saying it on that. We said it originally. Let's not act surprised. That J.J. McCarthy is deemed not ready.
Yeah.
Ashton Genty. He's the top. He's going to go. Let's save us some time. He's probably majority consensus 1.01. What's his best spot? His best spot is really.
For me, it's the Bears.
It's. Yes, that's true. I would say that I was going to say the best spot is kind of really almost any spot.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Anywhere he pays rent is his best spot.
That's what I was That's what I was going to say. So if he lands on the Bears, you could kiss DeAndre Swift goodbye. You could almost kiss him goodbye now, regardless whether no matter who gets selected by them. But yes, the Bears, the Raiders.
I don't think he's a good fit. I mean, he could play anywhere. But I don't know. I don't know if he's the best fit for the Raiders.
Well, why don't you think he's ready for the Raiders? You think it's just the team around him, or
the team around him?
Team around him. Okay.
Yeah.
That does make a little bit of sense. I mean, it's not the absolute best spot. I mean, like I said, I don't know if it's going to be really a worse spot either, but I guess to not maximize his absolute peak, the Raiders are probably the worst spot. I would hate for him to be in a Saquon situation again.
Yeah, and the worst spot, if he went to a team that had a bottom 10 offensive line, that wouldn't be a good spot for him either, because he was. I mean, he could run, yeah, he can get through, but he would struggle because he still needs a good or decent offensive line to open up holes for him.
Yeah, I think we're just. I mean, I think anywhere that he goes, he can make something happen. I mean,
yeah.
But if it had to be the absolute worst, I mean,
we weren't all that we weren't all that in love when Bijan was drafted to the Falcons.
Yeah, I just think talent takes over at the end of the day. Anywhere he goes.
Let me ask you this question. Now that we've got the dynasty part and the rookie, like we know he's top one, maybe two, if you're that desperate for the quarterback, but even if you are, and then I would trade off of your 101 if that's the case.
Exactly.
You can move to 102 or 3, pick up something, and then still get the quarterback. However, what if the Raiders are on the clock and he's on the board? Are they going to pass on him? Who the hell? I don't think they're going to pass on him.
I think they do.
Well,
they're more glaring holes right now. I mean, not saying that the running back is bad, but with the fact that, and this is why I'll say this too, is because the running back class is so deep that they could pick up a Trayvon Henderson early in the second round, who would be a better fit for them probably because it's seamless right in. Because the same system that he had at Ohio State. They just have more glaring needs. If they're cool, I'm happy for them. But they have more glaring needs, like a defensive back, and they need to straighten up their offensive line too. So
we'll see if the Raiders are keen on just taking elite players. Just BPA. I mean, because sometimes BPA to the end of the day it works. I mean, look at the Lions. The Lions just took BPA for as long as they could until eventually it worked. So we're going to see how this new Raider organization is going to do.
Well, all right. So speaking to that, you do have a certain owner that's, he's accustomed to not having these high drafted, high capital running backs. They got by with UFAs.
Mm-hmm. Who did?
The Patriots.
Brady.
Brady.
Oh, yeah.
Who the hell do they have? They had Kevin Folk, LeGarrette Blount. I'm not sure. I think LeGarrette Blount was probably a third round pick, maybe.
He would have been a first round pick, except for you punched somebody.
Yeah,
all right.
I don't think he was drafted. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
They had James White.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like it would again. If there's gonna be like 3 guys that are all in on Ashton Genty, I don't think Tom Brady's gonna overrule them. So, in any event,
no, I think New England would pick him because that'd be a Vrabel kind of guy. He had Derrick Henry for all those years, so it'll be interesting to see where he goes.
So the Raiders don't pick him. I think they'll probably trade out the pick because I know there'll be someone more than happy to take him at 6th for them.
Yep.
So then Ashton Genty, under your scenario, is going to go 4th overall.
Could be, yeah.
Wow. We've seen him 3rd.
He won't fall out of the top top 10, put it that way.
We've seen him third to the Giants, which is not out of the realm of possibility. That's not that crazy. Just so John Mara can now bring in the next Saquon Barkley, that's not crazy.
No.
Fourth, though. Now that's intriguing. That's interesting. I don't know.
You know what it reminds me of? So it reminds me of way back when the Vikings took AP 7th overall and they had Chester Taylor. And I even as a kid, I was like, man, what are they doing? Chester Taylor's rock solid. What are they doing? But hey, sometimes when you feel like you can make a position group elite, you do it.
And Genty is upgrade over Ramondre Stevenson, hands down.
He is. Ramondre Stevenson has fumbling issues. You know, he's burned me a couple of times.
It's true.
So they could potentially look in that direction.
It's true. No, look, the light bulb went off. I mean, it's possible, and I don't think that hurts the stock at all. I don't think it hurts the stock.
No.
What's going on with O'Marion Hampton? O'Marion Hampton, best fit for O'Marion Rockstar Hampton.
Broncos. Sean Payton. He's pro. He's got pro size. He's pro ready. He can catch the ball. He can catch do it all. I mean, some people say some people think that he's going to be RB1 out there.
He reminds me a little bit of Mark Ingram. I mean, just a little bit.
And I draft him probably 103.
He would be I would say early mid. Early to mid.
Yeah. I'm looking right at the 102. I like him actually going to the Cowboys. Nothing is for certain in Dallas. When you sign a couple of running backs to $3 million a piece, that tells me you don't know who's going to be running that backfield. I think he would be excellent in Dallas. Yeah, I'm taking with the 102 if we're getting draft capital that high.
Sweet. All right. Well,
I like that. I like the Cowboys too.
According to what I have here, the Athletics Beast, which is, by the way, forget the name. This is a very well put together draft guide. I mean, like it's thorough, but it's neat. You know what I mean? Like it's neat and clean. It's easy to use. It's user friendly. You know, I mean, PFF is very good at what they do, but it's not very user friendly. You got a lot of numbers and a lot of codes and a lot of abbreviations that you gotta kind of like figure out what the hell they're talking about. Which, again, that's their forte. But
you'll never find me on PFF.
PFF is very good for what they do, but this, in terms of a draft guide, so I'm going off of this draft guide from the Athletic. And number 3 is Caleb Johnson. He's got a 2nd round grade according to this guide. Give me the best team. JX, give me the best team.
The Caleb best Johnson. Team?
I want the sniper and James and all the goats, the goat of goats, to know this man's name. Caleb Johnson hits home runs. He hits mother effing home runs.
I have 2 ideal spots for him.
This is what you want. This is what we want out of a running back. We want guys that hit home runs, 70 yards to the house.
Yep. He's a big boy too.
Yes, he is. He's not small at all.
He's like 5'10", 215, 220, something like that.
I thought he might be closer to 6 foot, but I think you're about spot on.
I got it. Well, it's right here, as a matter of fact. He's 6 foot, 224.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah, quite big.
Is off.
Best spot
for him. I'm going to go a little Orthodox. I'm going to say the Cincinnati Bengals. Ooh. I think they need a real lead back there.
So Chase Brown would be the 2-minute back and 3rd down back.
Yeah, I
I
mean
like
Chase
that.
Brown. We saw his size start to hurt him a little bit towards the end of the season. Got hurt. I don't know if he's a 300 carry guy.
No.
A 60 catch plus. I don't know if he's a 360 type of touch guy. Caleb could take a lot of wear and tear off him, and he can be explosive in his third down role and his spelling carries with Caleb.
Another good spot would be the Chiefs.
Oof, yeah,
That'd be a scary spot. It's the
That-
Chiefs.
yeah.
All right, so not now I'm listening. The minute JX said Cincinnati, I wanted to go cry somewhere. But the Chiefs.
When was the last time? When was the last time they had a home run hitter like this?
Jamal
Jamal
Charles.
Charles.
Jamal Charles, yeah.
That's the last person I can think of.
Jamal
Isaiah
Charles.
Pacheco, he didn't look good.
James brings up a good point. I mean, a lot of that is out of their hands for sure, and the offensive lines, my God, is absolutely critical to not just their own successes. It's critical to what we do. It's critical to how we select players for our own fantasy teams.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. And I'll take it a step further. If teams aren't making their offensive line or their defensive line greater priorities after watching what we just saw this last playoffs,
Right.
then I don't know what the fuck I don't know what they're doing, to be honest. How this game should be rebuilt, recalibrated with a higher emphasis and importance on making sure. And look, it's not that they're not, right? No team is saying, yeah, we don't really need the offensive line. We don't really need a center. It's not that, but then there should be a greater emphasis on coaching the line as well.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure that they're cohesive, that they're all working in unison together. That's the only way it gets done. The only way. You had injuries. Okay, the injury bug is going to hit. And if you don't have the depth, then it's unfortunate. That's why drafting and having depth is important. Go on.
Okay, let's say he gets drafted in the second round, and he goes to a team that's rookie quarterback. Do you think his stock will hurt a little bit because they'll be able to stack the box compared to if he goes to a team with like Mahomes or Burrow that could throw the ball, so they can't really stack the box. It opens it up more. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Well, are you just saying he benefits better from like you said, them not him being the focal point?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But at Iowa, he was it. It wasn't like they were afraid of. I don't even know who was throwing the ball there. So maybe he can.
Yeah.
He can excel regardless. Because at the end of the day, on Saturday we play Iowa. We're looking for number 2, and that's it. So he might be another one where
much like, not to cut you off, JX, much like the 1.01 Ashton.
Yeah, he could be in that same tier. He's
the
going to
only
produce.
He's the only game in town where they had to freaking zero in on. They didn't have to worry about anybody else. And it also says something about these dudes that did not transfer either, that stayed in the program. And I'm pretty sure it's Caleb Johnson also, correct? Or nevertheless, maybe not. In any event, yeah. So look, if he goes to Cincinnati, if that's your best destination, top destination, best team fit for him, okay, so be it. We'll have to adjust. Yeah, Chiefs, to me, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a whole lot of sense.
The Bears make sense too.
Second round Giants, that makes sense. So be it.
The best way to make your bad defense look better is give them a break.
Yeah.
And the way you give them a break is by running the ball.
Yeah, you control the clock better. That's a given. So
You're throwing the ball, you score fast. Your defense has to get back up again, and then before you know it, they're burnt out.
Yeah,
So I think Cincinnati would be an excellent spot for them.
I like that.
Let's do the 2 Ohio State running backs. And I think we'll break this up into 2 shows. Does that sound like a good plan to you? Because we've got a bunch of other running backs to get to, and we haven't even gotten into the wide receivers and the tight ends and the kickers. No kickers. No.
Just lost the crowd.
No kickers. Right. Sniper. No kickers here. Only tight end premiums. We're gonna get to the tight ends on, I believe. We'll split this show into 2. We'll do another one on Thursday.
Yeah.
Right, Thursday or Saturday.
Thursday, because WrestleMania is on this weekend. So.
All right, let's get to the 2. Let's get to the 2 backs from Ohio State.
I'll be watching WrestleMania this weekend. All right. Don't be shaking your head, boy.
The heel. He has to watch the heel.
You gotta watch women wrestling.
Yeah, I'll be right there watching.
I'm sorry, I don't get it.
It's okay.
You don't need to, man. You don't need to.
It's fine. I get it. I don't.
It's the storyline. If you like good TV, then you should like wrestling. That's all. That's all I'm going to say.
I like The Ultimate Warrior. I liked it then. Let's go. Best spot for Travion Henderson. Best spot for this dude.
Well, I'd love to see him as the Rams because they need a home run hitter, but they don't have the capital to do that. Travion Henderson would be good. Quentin Junkins would be good with the Browns. I think he'd be a good fit for the Browns.
Keep in mind that they're picking early on day 2.
Yeah.
Right away.
And Travion Henderson, he'd be a good fit for playing people.
I mean, looking at the draft board here,
to be good for the Bears too. If they don't draft, if they miss out on somebody, they could be a good play for the Bears too.
Yeah, I don't think DeAndre Swift is completely done in Chicago. I think Travion could be a potential spot for the Bears as a second back. I think that's his role. I think that's his best role for his whole entire career, him being the second back to somebody, because he's just too electric with those 15 to 20 carries, not a whole entire workload.
He's my RB1.
RB1.
Yep.
That is
high
praise.
That's my flag.
That is high praise. I appreciate it, because I tell you what, like you said, he's super explosive. Like you said, 70-yard touchdown guys. He is a 70-yard touchdown guy.
I'll put this dude on the Browns, or Judkins for that matter. But I could see him going early, second round. That could be all right. Giants, you're up. I could see the Browns doing that, and they both need running backs. Or let me say, it would be the Browns need a running back more than the Giants, but for the Giants, it would be kind of like a luxury pick. The Browns, it would be like, okay, like we are going to bookmark this dude to start week 1. Who else? I mean, Tennessee's
would be a good team too.
Tennessee's kind of intriguing because we all think that they're okay at running back. I don't know how okay they feel they are at running back.
Yeah. Steelers
are going to draft a running back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That I believe. Now the question becomes, where the following day are they going to draft a running back? And I don't know if it's one of these 2, but nevertheless, let's not, again, like you want to keep Travion Henderson close to Ohio or Judkins. Yeah, I could see the Steelers doing that. What was the name you just said?
The Bills.
Mm-hmm.
We went through this exercise the other night with the Bills.
Go through
Bills,
it again.
they have like 5 running backs, including Josh Allen. I see that team. I don't see. I don't see the Jets.
I do see the Raiders for
I
Trayvon.
don't see the Jets. Hey, what about for Travion? What about the Ravens?
I thought that too.
Okay, excellent point. Excellent point. So 2 seasons ago, undrafted free agent Keaton Mitchell, injury prone. They drafted a dude last season.
Yep.
Barely touched the grass.
So did he touch the grass?
I'm not. I'm not sure. And then you've got Justice Hill and Derrick Henry, who will freaking.
But Trayvon Henderson, as they say, Trayvon Henderson clears Justice Hill.
Yeah,
big time. That is a whole nother freaking level to the Ravens offense. That'd be scary.
He made clear Justice Hill talent wise, but I'm not sure if they like that dude. If he's still performing, if he's still productive for them, I don't see him taking that many snaps away from Justice Hill. But then again, that's just my take. I could be completely wrong in that department because we are talking about a backup role-playing running back, third down type of running back to a prospect.
Yeah. I just think Saquon changes everything, and like I said to the AP point, I can say the same thing for Todd Gurley. I can say a lot. Like when there's an opportunity to increase the level of your running back room, the teams usually jump on it. They do. Like I said, and Saquon running for 2,000 yards and leading his team to Super Bowl. We might be seeing teams just reaching running backs all over the place in the first and second round.
Yeah.
I'm for that. Not necessarily reaching too badly, but I'm for that philosophy. Yes, with Saquon and the ground game and getting an elite caliber running back to propel your offense throughout the season. And then when it comes down to executing in the most important game, and they're going to take that dangerous weapon out, and boom, it's almost like the rope-a-dope. Almost. All right, guys, great stuff. We're going to leave it with the Ohio State running backs. So up next would be the likes of Dylan Sampson and who else we got here?
RJ Harvey.
RJ Harvey, that's right. Bashul Tutin is a name that we should definitely be paying attention to, as well as Damian Martinez and Cam Scatterbrains. Cam Scatterbrains, ladies and gentlemen. Rhino, did you want to leave our audience with anything this evening?
We actually, us FantasyGoats, want to leave our condolences to the Kyron Lacey family. And if anybody's out there ever in the need, reach out. There's people there. We do this because we like it, but the fantasy football is not the end all be all. But man, if you know somebody that's struggling, reach out to them. It takes a simple phone call to reach out to somebody and just check on them. So, and if not, then pass the suicide hotline out, and just be blessed, man. Look out.
It shouldn't have to resort to that type of decision.
No.
As far as I'm concerned, there's enough resources, there's enough tools, there's enough support mechanisms out there where that's not the better decision.
No.
And you feel that's not the best decision. I mean, like, obviously that's it's not. In other words, as I'm butchering this up, because it's a sensitive topic. It is. It's sensitive. That cannot be the best solution to decide to do that. But I get it. And it's very, very unfortunate. And that's a wonderful PSA, Rhino. Yeah, please, reach out.
Okay, if you guys are on Twitter and you see our handles, DM me, please.
Okay, so yeah, we will do this again next week. James, I hope that the Phillies are doing you right.
Go Phils.
Thank you for coming, James. Whoso is the GOAT. James, by the way, back to that McCarthy. Yeah, I mean, like, McCarthy is most likely ready. But on the other hand, if they don't have to rush him onto the field and knowing that they have a 4-time MVP that wants to play for a head coach that they seem to like be pretty close to one another. Like, I don't know where that came about, but they probably speak the same language very much.
That's about the same age. He
and-
might be. Roger might be. He actually
He's
might be
old.
older than
Roger's probably older.
Yeah.
But
Older than
yeah,
Chelsea.
I mean, like, because here's the downside. Here's the drawback to it. They just came off of a 14-win season. I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers is going to get them to a 14-win season either, right? 15 wins. I'm not saying not, but like if JJ McCarthy has tough shoes to fill, tough shoes. So I mean, like, that's why I kind of feel like that's why he's waiting around. I kind of feel like they're gonna get him onto the field, right after the draft. They're going to test them out. They're going to take a look, and then they're going to have that very private conversation with him.
Yeah.
And then they're going to make it. Then they're really going to make a determination. You know what? We're going to stick to our convictions. We do believe in you. It may cost us a few games. We may not make the playoffs this season, but we do believe in you. We are going to develop you the right way. You are going to be the quarterback that we drafted. What was it, 7th overall?
Something like that.
And they're gonna stick to it. But you do have this big elephant named Aaron Rodgers that they may find it easier to sign Aaron Rodgers, and then you could scapegoat Aaron Rodgers at the same time.
Who knows?
Now that's shrewd. That's shrewd, but that's what would wind up happening. You wouldn't have to blame JJ McCarthy, because when they don't win 14 games, now you know who. Now you could scapegoat. And as long as everybody's on board with that, like, I mean, like the Wolves, Quessy, Aaron, yeah, and that's that. All right, guys, thank you very much for coming. We will see you again later on this week on Thursday, 8 o'clock. Enjoy your evening.